Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. So I was on social media today and I read, according to Martin Holmes, who runs the Inside Survivor website, that the season 34 cast is going to be announced. And apparently, season 34 is going to be all returners. So I'm happy to see some familiar faces and I'm happy to see some people get a second chance again. So this video I'm going to go through the list of who will be returning and what I think about it, because I know the cast reveal has gotten some mixed reviews, so let me go ahead and start. So out of the girls, the first one that's returning is Andrea Bohilk, I think that's how you say her name. She was on Survivor Redemption Island and Caramoan. I didn't particularly care for Andrea second her second season she was on, because she was hanging around with Malcolm and his little posse, but I didn't mind her first season. I thought she was a pretty good player, but a lot of people saw her as a threat and voted her off. So I'm happy to see Andrea again get another chance. I'm very happy that Aubrey from this past season, Survivor Kale Ron, gets another chance. A lot of people believe this, and I think so too, that she was robbed out of winning the season because she's the runner-up against Michelle, and a lot of people think she lost because of a bitter jury, which I kind of agree with that. And she definitely has a very inspirational story, because she was definitely the underdog. She had a moment in there where she felt like giving up, like she was very anxious and everything, but she proved herself not only as a player, but she proved herself to herself, and she definitely she definitely called the shots a lot, and she was a leader, and she wasn't afraid to do what needed to be done to get ahead. So I'm very happy to see Aubrey get a second chance again, because she truly deserves a second chance. Sierra Easton from Survivor Blood vs. Water and Survivor Second Chance will be returning. And I didn't quite care for Sierra her first season she was on, but I thought her and the Witches Coven, that's what they called their group, were they were funny in Survivor Second Chance, and Sierra definitely wasn't afraid to speak her mind, and I think when she spoke her mind, that opened up the players' eyes a lot, and that got them to get their heads in the game and actually start playing. So I am happy that Sierra gets to have another chance again. Also, that's returning from the girls is Siri Fields, and I'm not too familiar with Siri or her gameplay, but I have read that she's a fan favorite among a lot of Survivor fans, so I guess a lot of people are happy to see her back. I'm also happy that Debbie from Survivor Kale Wrong will be returning, and the thing about Debbie is you either like her or you hate her, and I personally love Debbie. I loved her personality. She was definitely a leader among the Shanlo tribe, and I definitely think she was one of the few people who actually had her head in the game, and she wasn't afraid to make moves, and she was definitely taken out of the game earlier than she should be. Out of all the people in Survivor Kale Wrong, I was hoping that Aubrey and Debbie would be in the finals. That would be my ideal castaways to be in the finals, so I'm definitely happy to see them come back. It should be quite interesting to see Aubrey and Debbie back together again. One person that I'm not happy to see coming back is Haley Ford from Worlds Apart, and the reason being that her, Jen, and Joe were a bunch of bullies during that season, and they purposely made Nina look bad during one of the challenges just because she's deaf. And it made fun of her a lot, and like I said, they purposely made her look bad in the challenge, and they voted her off, and I thought they were very cruel. So I'm not happy that Haley was returning. I think that was a waste right there. Sandra Diaz Twine is returning, and what's interesting about her is that each season that Sandra was on, she won. So already she's going to have a target on her back because she's won 2 times already. They definitely aren't going to let Sandra win a third time. I'm very happy to see Sarah Lacina from Survivor Cagayan come back. Anytime I've done a Survivor poll, whether it's a fan favorite for the season or who deserves a second chance, Sarah has always won those polls, and her season, she was taken out, and she was the first jury member, and I definitely think there was more to her story. I definitely think that she could have possibly gone far in the game and possibly made it to the finals. I think she was definitely, in my opinion, a physical threat, and I liked Sarah. I know a lot of people did, so I'm happy to see she gets a second chance. And the last from the girls is Sierra Thomas from Worlds Apart, and I kind of mixed feelings about Sierra. I mean, the thing I remember about her is that she was a whiny brat because Lindsay, who was the only person in her alliance, or I should say the one person that she was really close to, got voted off. So Sierra basically acted like a whiny brat the rest of the season. So, other than that, she was an okay player, but I definitely have mixed views there. But out of all the girls, I'm pretty happy with. The only one I wouldn't have put on is Haley. I would definitely substitute Haley with Holly Hoffman from Survivor Nicaragua. Holly definitely also has an inspirational story because, like, I think it was day 3 or day 5, she wanted to quit, but she got a Jimmy Johnson pep talk, and she actually made it pretty far in the game. She came in 4th place, and she proved herself to be a very loyal player, and I'm so sad that Holly does not get a second chance because, like Sarah, Holly has also won Survivor polls I've done. Whether it's a second chance or the season favorite, Holly's always won. So, Holly, I'm hoping you get another chance. I'm definitely rooting for you. So now let's move on to the guys. Brad Culpepper will be returning, and not a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like Brad, and I don't particularly care for him. I mean, he's not one of my favorites, but a lot of people didn't like him during his season because they thought that he was controlling his wife, Monica. So I'm I don't know. I guess a lot of people aren't happy to see him come back. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I am happy to see Caleb Reynolds come back. He was on this past season Survivor Care Wrong, and Caleb was unfortunately taken out of the game due to a medevac during one of the challenges, and I definitely think, I don't know if Caleb would have won, but I definitely think that he would have gone a lot farther had he not been medevaced. So I'm definitely happy that Caleb gets another chance. JT, who is actually the winner of Survivor Tocantis, I think that's how you say that, is coming back. And I don't quite remember that season too well, so I can't speak for JT, but from what Stephen Fishbach said in Survivor Second Chance, that JT was known as a pretty boy, and people didn't listen to Fishbach when he wanted to get JT out. So this should be an interesting season. Jeff Varner, who was on Survivor Australia and Survivor Second Chance, will be coming back. Jeff was taken out early in Survivor Second Chance because he was kind of mixed up with the whole Abby drama. And I don't know, Jeff's not one of my favorite players, so I'm not exactly thrilled he's coming back, but I know a lot of people like Jeff, so I guess it's a good thing. Out of the guys, I'm very unhappy that these two are coming back, Malcolm Freeberg and Ozzy. And to me, they both seem like very arrogant people. They seem very full of themselves. I guess I don't even know which one I prefer out of the two of them. When Ozzy was on South Pacific, him and his posse were bullies to Cochran. I mean, if you watch that season, you'll see. But they were so bitter toward Cochran because he went against them and made a big move so he can further himself in the game, and they were all jealous about it. So I don't particularly like that those two are back. But I am happy to see that Ty from Survivor Kale Wrong is coming back, and Ty is just he's just a sweet person. Like, you've seen it. He's an animal lover. I mean, he convinced his whole tribe not to eat a chicken, which is very hard to do when you're out there for so long and have no food to eat. And he's an animal lover. He loves all living things. He he blindsided quite a lot of people, which a lot of people didn't expect him to do, but he did what he needed to do to play a great to play a I wouldn't say play a great game, but to, get ahead, win the $1 million. And so I'm very happy to see him come back. I am absolutely thrilled that Tony Vlachos is coming. He's actually the winner of Survivor Cagayan, and next to Boston Rob, Tony is my favorite Survivor castaway. He definitely changed the way I watch Survivor. Tony was so funny during the season. I mean, that season was his season. He found the idols. Won he won immunity a few times. He made a spy shack, which we've never seen on Survivor, and he had to backstab a lot of people, but a lot of people have to do that in the game. But I'm very happy Tony gets to come back. I thought he was just awesome. Survivor Cagayan was probably one of my favorite seasons because of Tony. And the last person is Troy Zan from Survivor One World. And Survivor One World I didn't watch because, and that reason being, I just didn't like that season. I thought the people on there were just ridiculous, and that's probably one of my least favorite seasons of Survivor, so I didn't quite pay attention that season, so I can't speak for Troy Zan. But it seems that there's two mystery people, and they're both going to be from this next season of Survivor, season 33, which is Millennials versus Generation X. And it's going to be a boy and a girl from that season, so we'll have to wait and see who else is going to be added to the list. But overall, I'm happy with the list. Like I said, the only change I'd make to the girls is to have Haley go and have Holly Hoffman come in. And out of the guys, the only changes I would make is to get rid of Malcolm and Ozzy and put in Josh Canfield and Reed Kelly. And they're from Survivor San Juan del Sur, and they're also two of my favorite Survivor castaways. Reed Kelly was definitely more villainous out of the two. Reed was more a strategic thinker and wasn't afraid to make big moves. And he also had the best final jury speech I have ever seen. I mean, that speech alone should get him a second chance. And Josh was also a strategic player, but I think out of the two had a better social game. And I was so hoping that those two would win, and I think they could have gone a lot farther if they didn't have to play with ridiculous people. So Josh, Reed, I'm hoping you guys get a second chance. I'm definitely rooting for you. So it seems like that's the Survivor list for Survivor 34. It's still not clear what the theme or what the title will be for that season. There's 3 winners, so I don't know if they'll separate them in 3 different tribes. Maybe they'll do a schoolyard pick. They haven't done that in a while. So maybe it might be a season where the winners are captains. Maybe it might be tribes, second chancers versus people who have played already. Maybe it's just a whole season of favorites. I have no idea. So hopefully, well, I guess we won't hear anything about that until season 33 is over. So I'm a little anxious to wait and see what the season's going to be. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to catch Survivor 33 Millennials versus Generation X, that will premiere on CBS in September. I'm not quite sure what the date of that is, but we'll have to wait and see. Like, subscribe, and remember, stay regal.